I just have to say that I object strenuously to your use of the word hilarious. To me, this feels a lot like your reaction to being named in one of these manifestos. Now, you're of course not responsible for the words of somebody writing that document. But I do think that laughing at it is a real problem because these are real families that are impacted by this violence. And I think our efforts towards talking about this have to start from a place of mutual respect, which is what I've heard from this side of the table. Now, the reason we don't have those numbers, I want those numbers as much as you do, but the number, to say the numbers don't show something is simply not supported by the data.
All right.
Okay, and I have 38 seconds left, Ms. Mulligan, if you want to respond within that time.
The only thing I would add is that it's in the name. Terrorism, domestic terrorism, it terrorizes us. It terrorizes us in our homes. It terrorizes us in our schools. And to the points made by the other panelists, it is disproportionate to its impact on any individual life, and it's not.
You reject the idea it's something that doesn't matter or it doesn't really matter?
Absolutely reject.
Okay. All right, so here's where we are. Every member now has had 5 minutes and... Okay, and Mr. Clay. So we have two members who have not. So I'm going to go to the two members who have not yet, and we'll give an opportunity.
Does that guy look like a politician? You can tell him. He's just a sneaky politician. I just want to throw that out.
For a closing thought to any member who wants before we go.
Am I next to respond, or is Mr. Meadows?
I thought Mr.
I really
Meadows
don't know.
was
Something
next.
is not.
Mr. Meadows is next, then Mr. Clay, then to you, Mr. Jordan.
Ms. Owens, obviously this is a gang up on you. You know, we're giving these witnesses the ability to do a rebuttal on you, and so you know, I find it unfair, Ms. Ballou. I mean, you know, candidly, for you to show mutual respect and then you to go after Ms. Owens, it's not appropriate. So, Ms. Owens, you can have 4 minutes and 34 seconds to respond. However,
yield for a second.
I'll yield to the.
Thank you. I believe, Ms. Owens, when you used the word hilarious, it was referencing the fact that no one had asked you a question. It wasn't to the subject matter of the hearing. Is that right?
That is correct.
And to have another witness insinuate something that is not accurate is just not appropriate, Mr. Chairman, for how witnesses are supposed to behave in front of this committee. I also think you didn't say it doesn't matter about the subject matter of today's hearing. You said there are other subjects that matter as well, and maybe we should spend some time on those. Is that accurate?
That is correct, and they matter much, 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 much more, and I have said that. I said that in my opening, and I will say it again. You know that white supremacy and white nationalism is ranks nowhere near the top of the issues that are facing Black America. And the reason that you are bringing them up in this room is because it is an attempt to make the election all about race, as the Democrats
Not in my case, Ms. Owens. I'm sorry. Please do not characterize my motive.
Mr. Chairman, it's my time.
If you're not eating chili or jalapeno, hey, don't act like your mouth is hot. Something just triggered this guy. Something triggered this guy. And I don't want to just spend a little bit of time on this where something triggered him.
Yeah,
it's my time.
You've got your time, Mr. Meadows. I'll give you 3 more seconds.
Every 4 years, you bring up race, and you knew exactly what I meant when I said hilarious, and you just tried to do live what the media does all the time to Republicans, to our president, and to conservatives, which you tried to manipulate what I said to fit your narrative, okay? I was not referring to the subject matter that is hilarious.
She's ready.
I said it's hilarious
She's
that
ready,
we're sitting in this room today, and I've got 2 doctors and a missus, and nobody can give us real numbers that we can respond to so we can assess how big of a threat this is. Because you know that it is not as big of a threat as you are trying to make it out to be so that you can manipulate. And the audacity of you to bring up the Christchurch shooting manifesto and make it seem as if I laughed at people that were slaughtered by a homicidal maniac is, in my opinion, absolutely despicable. And I think that we should be above that. To try to assign reality or any meaning to a homicidal maniac writing a manifesto, which, by the way, let the record show, also stated Spyro the Dragon, the child's cartoon, as a source of inspiration. He also cited Nelson Mandela as a source of information. I don't think that Nelson Mandela has inspired mosque shootings. You can correct me if you think I'm wrong. You would rather assign meaning to a homicidal maniac than to actually address the things that I said today that are actually harming Black America. Number one, father absence. Number two, the education system and the illiteracy rate. Illegal immigration ranks high, abortion ranks high, white supremacy and white nationalism, if I had to make a list again of 100 things, would not be on it. This hearing, in my opinion, is a farce, and it is ironic that you're sitting here and you're having 3 Caucasian people testify and tell you what their expertise are. Do I know what my expertise are? Black in America. I've been Black in America my whole life, all 30 years, and I can tell you that you guys have done the exact same thing every 4 years ahead of an election cycle, and it needs to stop.
Oh, okay. Oh, man, that's another one. Oh my God. That's another one. Wow, that guy was triggered though. And let me just open here the conversation about this. Let me just play the devil's advocate here. The problem with politics today, right, the modern politics, is that there's a lot of emotions involved in a lot of the arguments, right? There's a lot of sign language, and there's a lot of arguments regarding what things that sounds good, but they're not concrete. You cannot reach out to them, right? Systematic repression, systematic racism, climate change. See, these things you can just literally just go beyond to reach out to it. It's not something tangible where we can just go there and fix it. Like fatherhood, I think that can be fixed if you start promoting fatherhood. Probably not now, probably like 20, 30 years, you might see a change. The school system, maybe school choice, it should be implemented more in these areas. Or, you know, there's Black Americans that do have the income to just choose their kids to go to better school. Give those kids the opportunity to do so, to choose. Listen, man. I've been living in the United States for what? I mean, the States for 10 years now. 10 years now. Things happen? Yeah, things have happened. Right? But it's nothing compared to something like Civil War times, right? Nothing compared to that. It's just ridiculous. It's hard when it comes to a conservative like Candace, Mrs. Owens, Mrs. Owens. It's hard for them to attack them because they paint her as a conservative, but they have to remind themselves, oh, she is Black, right? So how are we going to tackle this? So they have to do it with sign language, right? That's the only way they have, okay? Because these conversations, you go back to the interviews of Thomas Sowell back in the 70s, these are conversations that has been just drawn for years and never had fixed anything. And you just always come to the left and the left side is the same arguments. We need to put more money and we need to just do reparation. All these things, it's just, that does not fix the problem. You have to teach people how to fish rather than give them fish. What do you guys think? Am I wrong with this? Am I exaggerating here? Let me know in the comment below and I'm going to really appreciate it. Peace out.